This is Bob Pickett. How in the world does a man from Hell's Kitchen in Brooklyn, New York become a superstar in the Caprock of West Texas? Easy. Radio. Now, to be fair, it was actually the United States Air Force that brought Lew Dee to Lubbock. But after he was honorably discharged from Reese Air Force Base, he stayed in Texas for the rest of his life. Lew first began his career as a broadcaster in Post and Littlefield before the big town of Lubbock called him back home, and the lure of not only radio but television too at KSEL. He had the talent, and Lew was good looking too. By the time the 70s arrived, he and partner Paul Bean formed KEND Radio, and one other significant change would happen as well. His wife, Diana, became a part of the broadcasting package and co-hosted morning shows with him until their retirement. Lew also had a flair for sales and management too, and often pulled double duty or even more, acting as sales manager or general manager, all while still producing a winning morning show like he did for many years at Cool 98 from 1989 to 1996. In 2002, things at Cool weren't so hot, and Lew left to launch a new radio station, Stars 104.3, and eventually it was there that Lew said goodbye to the early wake-ups in Lubbock after several years as the leader of the wake-up crew. Even after retiring from the day-to-day, the owners of the station made sure Lew's presence was still felt and heard on all of their Lubbock radio and TV properties. Lew passed away in 2011. But when the subject of great radio in West Texas comes up, the Brooklyn boy with talent as big as Texas always seems to be a part of the conversation. And it always should be. It's my privilege to thank you on behalf of the family and friends and officially induct Lew Dee into the 2018 class of the Texas Radio Hall of Fame.
Makes me want to cry. Well, I wish Lew could be here to see this and to receive this honor. Lew was such a great guy and an icon in Lubbock for so many years, and I guess we can attribute that to the fact that he did morning drive for 48 straight years. That's a long time to get up at 4:15 in the morning. I wasn't Lew's first partner, but I was his last partner. And I was the first woman to go on and do a two-man show in Morning Drive. And it was fun. After I went on the air with him in 1978, we got married in 1988. We kept it a secret because we thought it would change the state, our program. We didn't let people know. And so we went for a few years without, well, not many, a couple of years after we'd been married. Well, Lew got lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer, and really had a tough go of it. But he was a 23-year survivor of lung cancer. So. Lew was a guy's guy. He liked to smoke, drink, gamble, play golf, gamble on golf. Lubbock loved him. I always like to say the women loved him. Every woman in Lubbock was in love with him, and the men wanted to be him. Whenever he started with KSEL, actually it was the Cuckoo Network owned by the McAllisters. And R.B. McAllister was a real close friend of Gordon McClendon. And so consequently, he mirrored everything that Gordon did in Dallas. Well, it happened in Lubbock. And Lew went on the air with one of the McAllisters, with R.B. McAllister's son, Bill. And they had a 10-year run where they had an unbelievable rating. Some of you may know that they had a 62 share of the audience, which was pretty incredible. I think whenever I look back at those times and some of the gigs and things that they did was so far ahead of themselves as far as, the industry was concerned. But People have always told me that when Lew was on the air, when he was talking on the air, they felt like he was talking just to them. And I had several people tell me that. R.B. McAllister told Lew that. And as Mike Wade and I are talking before the start, well, he said, there's one thing about Lew Dee. And Mike Wade worked for Lew whenever he was at KEND. He said, I always felt like he was just talking just to me. So I think that's a real talent. There may be many of you out here today that at some point in time worked for Lew or trained under him. And I hear it all the time, and I hear from people that say, well, I got my start with Lew. So he was just a great guy, and he would be so honored to have this honor. I'd like to thank the board. I'd like to thank Mike Wade for his participation, Bob Pickett, what a great bit that is, and all the TV stations in Lubbock and the radio stations. They can't be here today because Texas Tech is playing Oklahoma tonight. So I'm hoping for a win, but this is such a big honor, and I'd like to thank everybody concerned. I'd like to thank Steve Seaver. I know a lot of you may have worked for Steve Seaver or worked with him at different radio stations, but he lives in Dallas now, and he drove me over here and made sure, and he and Lew were good friends, made sure that I made it. So just to sign off and stay in my 2 minutes, I'll say thank you from Lew.